All right, you guys, we're back again today, and we're here to talk about a museum piece. This museum piece is basically a boot, a Scythian boot. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Scythian? Okay, I believe I've heard it pronounced both ways, but it's dated back from 2,300 years ago. It's currently at a museum and is encoded with electromagnetic principles, chromatic frequency theory, and field memory. Now, I do follow Billy Carson. I don't always agree with everything he says, but he does make some excellent, interesting points. And one of them is right here in this post that he put on X yesterday. This is only what we're only beginning to rediscover in modern bioenergetics. So let's get into it, you guys. All right, so let's start with the electromagnetic principles that he mentions. Look this up. I took a little bit of science in high school, but any of you that understand this better, please feel free to leave it in the comments. But just looking up electromagnetism, it's a science of charge and the forces and fields associated with the charge. And there's a difference between that and magnetism. What he's basically saying there is that there is some sort of electrical charge in these boots. All right, and he mentions chromatic frequency theory. So to back it up a little bit, I looked up the chromatic scale. It's a musical scale with 12 pitches, each a semitone, also known as a half step, above or below its adjacent pitches. And I got this off of Wikipedia. That is what that is. Now let's go into the theory. All right, you guys, now let's get into the chromatic frequency theory. Now, this is one site I found. I will have this link in the comment on TikTok. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in this description, as well as the Wikipedia and Britannica sites that I used for this light bit of research. The sonic and electromagnetic waves have very different mediums as a carrier field, which very well known. Sound is carried by air molecules, makes sense. Light travels through vacuum, just because of ever-present electromagnetic field. Now, what I liked about this site is it actually kind of went into both the magnetic and the sonic, the sound. So, basically, I guess these boots make some sort of sound based on the half-step chromatic scale. And if you research that even further, you'll find it has a link to sound frequency in 440 hertz, which is amazing. Also, it also ties in electromagnetic waves. Obviously, light travels. So the light, I guess, would travel through the boots, and that is very fascinating. These were found. It's cold there, so it would keep their feet warm. Now let's get into field memory. So with the little bit of research that I did do, what I really more so found was the psychology term of field memory perspective. That is a first person. Whenever you remember something, you remember it in the first person versus being an outsider. So that's basically what that is. Now, if you kind of relay that to what we're talking about, it's kind of what I'm thinking, kind of like memory foam. It remembers the wearer. So who were the Scythians? The Scythians were a nomadic people that were around the eastern Iranian portion of the world. And they went all the way to Central Asia, to the Pontic Steppe, which is in modern-day Ukraine. They ruled those lands for hundreds of years. I want to say they go back to maybe 9th, 10th century BC, and their reign and their power kind of disintegrated by 3rd century AD. So what happened to these proud people? The Scythians were also mentioned in the Bible, and they were known for their ruthlessness. I mean, it was pretty bad. I mean, the Newer Testament called them out quite a bit. They were pretty horrific if you were considered an enemy of one of their tribes. They had no writing system. basically had been overcome by several different types of people. One, I'm probably not pronouncing this right, the Medes, Medes or Medes. Another one, a couple centuries later, the Sarmatians, Samartians. Now, that's what happened to them. And then by the 3rd, 4th century AD, they had pretty much assimilated within culture. So with no writing system, this ancient piece of technology was gone forever. And in history, some of these things that we're coming out with now aren't always new. They're just ancient technology that has come back. So, here's the question of the day. What piece of ancient technology do you think will be next? And remember, history is called history for a reason. The winners get to write the story.